Hi, this is SBC Hoops. I'm Emron and he's Hayden. And today we'll be discussing our Eastern Conference power rankings. We're going to give our top eight, not necessarily like predictions for how the regular season will turn out. We're not predicting number one seed, number two seed, number three seed. That's a little bit difficult to do right now, but we're giving our top eight power rankings for like our eight best teams, the teams that we think are going to make the playoffs, the teams that we think are the best in the Eastern Conference. So Hayden, give me your top eight teams.
All right. So my first team in the East, I did put him in rankings like 1 to 8, but obviously injuries can happen and stuff.
Yeah,
But
I put mine 1 to 8 too, but like
yeah,
this is not. I'm not predicting they'll finish number one seed. They'll finish number two seed. It's just like my eight best teams, you know.
right. I think on paper, Boston Celtics are my number one team in the East.
Damn.
With the addition of Malcolm Brogdon, I mean, they just got better. You have to take a championship team and you get better. You're supposed to finish first. Now, obviously, with the whole head coach situation, that could falter how good they do. But I think that's only going to falter when they get to the playoffs. I think for the regular season they're going to be fine. I think they're the best team on paper. Number two, I have the Bucks. They're the Milwaukee Bucks. Same old, same old. Team hasn't really changed. No new additions. No people leaving. So it's kind of the same team. They're going to be a great team. You got Giannis. You still have Drew Holiday. You have Chris Middleton. You got Bobby Portis. You got Lopez. You got the starting five right there. I mean, you still have Pat Connaughton coming off the bench as a shooter, and they still have James Noura. Yeah, so I think that's a good team for number two. Now I can see them finishing number one, either them or the Celtics, but I think those are the top two teams in the East. Number three, it's normally where I would put the Heat, but I'm going with the Philadelphia 76ers at the number three team. I think the additions of Montrezl Harrell, DeAnthony Melton, PJ Tucker, those are three great additions for the Sixers, and they didn't really lose anyone. So I think they only got better, just like the Celtics. And now we get to see a whole season of James Harden and Joel Embiid, who I think could be a dynamic duo in the NBA, and I know they will be. And so that's my number three team as far as regular season goes. I think Doc Rivers will know how to coach that team and get them into the top 10. I could see them also finishing number one, seeing how it plays out, but I got them at number three. Um, Number four, I did put the Miami Heat. I think with the loss of PJ Tucker in your starting lineup, you do lose on the defensive side of the ball because now you got to start probably Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson, which I think they're going to go with Robinson, and they're going to keep taking Hero off the bench as a sixth man, which I still think is a great team. And so I think their defense is good, but I think the loss of PJ Tucker is why I dropped them to four. They still have a really good coach, and yeah, I got them as my number four team. Number five, I have the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this is the big question mark coming into the year. How are Katie, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons going to play together? You have Ben Simmons,
Number
who was top.
five.
You have Ben Simmons, who is a top three defensive player of the year candidate. If he comes in and plays the same good defense that I know Ben Simmons can play, I don't think his shot really matters because you have two of the best scorers in the NBA. You have a 50, 40, 90 player in Kyrie, and you have Kevin Durant. I think around them, they still have Seth Curry. You got Joe Harris coming back. Now, the only thing that's faulty about them is their coach. I don't know how good Steve Nash is. I don't know if he's going to come back this year. I don't know the whole deal with their coaching staff, if Katie likes them, if Katie doesn't like them. But I think skill-wise and talent-wise on their team, they got all the right pieces. Now, their bench does not run deep. They start getting to people like Bruce Brown and these bums, as I like to call them, Nicholas Claxton. These are not very great players, but if Katie and Kyrie can carry the load, I think they're the fifth best team. Do I think they're going to finish in the top five seedings? Probably not, but I do think on paper they're top five team in the East. My number six is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, they just got a whole lot better. You add Donovan Mitchell. They could potentially have four out of their five starters be all-stars, and that's pretty scary for the rest of the league. And you still have Kevin Love. You still have Isaac Okoro. You still have the Evan Mobley coming off of his rookie year. You got Jared Allen. So you got two of the best big men in the league who could each be a candidate for Depoy if they try for it. You got Darius Garland, who is taking strides in his development, and then you have Donovan Mitchell now. Just a really good all-around team. I got Cavs finishing six. I could see them finishing in the top five seedings. But I just think they're a little too young for me to see them finishing above any of the teams I have listed above them. Number 7 and 8 were hard, all right, because there's three teams that I think could contend in the East for the 7, 8, and 9 spots. Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks. DeJounte Murray. You add DeJounte Murray. They only got better. So how do you not have them in the playoffs? But I do. I had them at the number 7 spot. Atlanta Hawks, they got better with DeJounte Murray. Their starting lineup is Trae Young, DeJounte, you got Herter, and then you got John Collins and Clint Capella. It's a really good squad. And so I think with them getting better, I think there'll be a playoff seed. I think there'll be a playoff seed 7. Probably in that play-in tournament. I think they win to get in. And yeah, I don't have much to say about the Atlanta Hawks. I think they just got better with DeJounte. I don't think they got a whole lot better. I don't think DeJounte's that good. DeJounte's obviously
I don't either.
I think DeJounte's a rising star. But I think him and Trae are gonna, bigger about who's gonna be more ball dominant. And I just don't like it. But I can't take them out of the playoffs. It's too good of a starting 5 for me to take them out when they've been in the playoffs the past 2 to 3 seasons at least with that same 5. And then you add DeJounte. But number 8, obviously it's gonna be a shocker. I do not have the Chicago Bulls in my top 8 teams. Now, Lonzo Ball, I think him being hurt and him still lingering with that knee issue is the big reason. If they have Lonzo Ball, he's right here at this 8th spot. They're right there at that 8th spot. But because they don't have Lonzo Ball, I'm taking Toronto Raptors to take the 8th spot. I think you have Scottie Barnes, obviously one of the best defensive players. He's rookie of the year. He's coming in his 2nd season. Still got Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr. You still have a good squad. I don't see why they can't finish as a playoff seeding top 8. Obviously, I think Bulls could take that, but I think the rest of the Eastern teams are just either too young or they just don't have the lineups that I think could make the top 8 power ranking teams. So I got Toronto Raptors as my top 8.
All right. I'm going to say mine. I'm going to go through my list, right? Really a lot faster than you. And then I'm going to explain because most of my big stuff that is going on is what I have at the top and what I have at the bottom, right? That's my most controversial part of my list. With anyone's list, really, to be honest. Right. So I got the Bucks number 1.
Okay.
I got the Bucks number 1. I got Brooklyn number 2. I had them way higher than you. Why? I'm looking at this from look.
What?
Yes, I have Brooklyn. Where'd you have them for?
5?
5. No, I have them number 2. I really think Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Dude, that fits in so perfectly. That fits in so perfectly. I just think that they're the 2nd best team. Well, I put them ahead of the Sixers, who's 3. I have the Celtics 4. I have the Heat.
You have them over the Celtics? You just swept them?
I have the 76ers and the Celtics too. The Celtics, I think the Celtics are a championship team last year that only got better. Don't get me wrong. But now you have a coach who got suspended just weeks before the season. I get it. It's only the coach. The coach is not that big of a deal. But I still don't think. I think. Look. I think the Bucks last year, if they were fully healthy, I think they were better than the Celtics, despite the fact that Celtics. I believe the Nets, if they got their stuff together, they were a better team than the Celtics. I'm not going to say the word I'm thinking of.
They added Ben Simmons.
Not Ben. I'm not the Ben Simmons. That's not what I'm saying. The fact that they add Ben Simmons. Number 1, Ben Simmons is a damn good player. And I have him winning one of the 3 awards that we're going to talk about later on. Just a sneak peek. I'm not saying Ben Simmons is not. And I'm not saying Ben Simmons is going to light up and change it next year, light up the league. I still think he's offensively, he's going to have his question marks. But I think what he brings on this defensively to this Nets team is something that's so underrated. He is someone who really can truly guard 1 through 5. I think he's one of the best defenders in the league. And I think that the Nets are going to be able to push the pace more with Ben Simmons offensively. I think that he will bring a different way to this team that I think people are underrating. That's why I have them pretty high. And I think Kevin Durant, I don't see a repeat of last year happening. I think Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, the vaccination situation, that's being a little bit more going away, kind of. He's actually focusing on basketball now, hopefully. But this is all wishful thinking, of course. So Bucks 1, Nets 2, 76ers. The additions of Melton and and Montrezl Harrell, those are decent. Those are decent additions, but I think the addition that is not getting is claim that it deserves is PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker is he's a real dog, and he makes the 76ers team better. James Harden's going to be fully healthy this year, and it really comes down to him and whether or not last year was it the fact that he had his injury that he was carrying around all season, or is he washed? That's the question this year. If it's
Or
the
did he just not get enough time to gel with the Sixers organization or the
I,
team, the
I
starting
don't think
five?
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's either he's washed or that injury. And I'm not gonna say he's washed, but like of this season, if he gets off to the slow start, I'm gonna be quick to give him the washed mark. But that's why I have the Sixers third. But like if James Harden can get it together, they're a team. Because tell you what, Joel Embiid is the best big man in basketball. Joel Embiid is a top 5 player in basketball
He
because
is.
he's a bad man. That's why I have them
He's a
there.
bad man.
But and I said what I said about my reasons for Boston being 4. I have Miami 5. Miami didn't really get better at all, but like they still have Jimmy Butler, and they, if you have Jimmy Butler and you have the pieces around him, you still be a team that can contend. Last year
Still got Bam Adebayo.
they still got Bam Adebayo. They still got Tyler
Yeah.
Hero.
They do have Victor Oladipo now though on a full
Oladipo
season.
on Oladipo in a full season. They'll be decent. Cavaliers. Cavaliers. I have them at what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
I
we
have
both had the
Cavaliers.
Caps at 6.
Yeah, Cavaliers at 6. Donovan Mitchell's good addition. Good overall team around.
Right.
I just not enough superpowers to compete with all the higher teams, in my opinion, as of right now. And then these 4 teams have been I'm at the 6th seed. I've had 4 teams battling for 2 spots.
What's that 4th team?
I have 4 teams battling for 2 spots. It's the Bulls, the Hawks, the Raptors, and the Hornets. I have those 4 teams
Hornets
battling for the 2
really
spots.
trust in LaMelo.
But I don't have the Hornets making the playoffs. So I don't have the Hornets making the playoffs. And the other team, I really changed my mind as soon as we started this episode. I had the Raptors at 8 seed, but I was like, the Hawks adding DeJounte Murray, there's no way they missed the playoffs. So I have the Bulls 7 because of my. I have the Bulls. I have Bulls 7, Hawks 8, and I nearly had the Raptors ahead of the Hawks. And I still believe that could still happen. I really like this Raptors team. They're only going to get better. Scotty Barnes is only going to get better.
Why do you like
Pascal Siakam. They brought in Otto Porter, OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet. The Bulls are going to be getting Caruso back. The Bulls were on a groove last year. The main thing is they were number 1 seed for like 4 months last year. And what happened? They lost Caruso and they lost Lonzo. 2 huge pieces in that team. And Lonzo is still not back. That's the reason why I have them as 8th seed. They would be a lot higher, in my opinion, if they had Alonzo. If they had Alonzo and they were basically returning the cast that they had last year, I can see them as a potential top. I see them better as the Cavaliers. I see them better team than the Cavaliers. I don't even see them as good as the Heat. In my opinion, yeah. They beat the Bucks last year in a game. I don't even think they would beat the Bucks in the playoffs. I thought they were going to get swept. They competed last year. DeMar DeRozan is a very good player. Very good player.
Yeah, he is. And I think
I have them 7th seed and I have Hawks 8.
That's good. I do think DeMar DeRozan is a very good player, but I do think we got to slow the brakes down on him. He's getting older. I think that he had a great season last year. Do I think he's going to repeat that? No. I don't think there's any way in hell he repeats the season he just had. He averaged 27, 28 points a game. That's not happening again. It's not. It's just not. And if it does, then obviously I see them as a playoff team. Now, he might average 23, 24, have a little drop off. Zach LaVine's still doing his thing. But I just don't know where the other pieces come from. I think Cavs got better in the only spot that they needed help in. They needed another guard, and Colin Sexton wasn't the guy. And they just got Donovan Mitchell, who is better than Darius Garland. So I don't know. Cavs could make a jump higher than where we have them. But yeah. I think we have similar East standings, except for your Celtics dropping down to 4.
Yeah, my main thing with the Celtics is I think last year both teams were lucky to get to where they were in the championship. But we'll talk about that in the Western Conference later.
The Celtics kind of dominated.
This was our top 8. Yeah, thank y'all for watching.